kids, it's Mark Miller here. I'm your
Campbell
host,
as well.
your guide into the ethereal plane. Campbell Franklin's with me over there. How you doing, Campbell?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you have for breakfast this morning?
I had leftover mac and cheese.
Leftover mac and cheese?
Delicious.
I noticed you also stole some of my bacon.
Well,
We'll deal with that after the show. Right now, it's something we like to call,
what happened last time?
What happened, Campbell?
We created a test variable time. Yes. And so, yeah. Okay, so I believe what we did last time is we worked on this.
Right.
So
we were talking about creating
so if we
a
want
number of different classes that were descending from test variable. Over here on my screen, you can see we're talking about it. It's going to have a name and an abstract method called generate initialization. And it might have a color, it might have a kind. We were talking about that maybe. And then we created like at least 4 descendants. We identified 4 descendants we needed to create, possibly 6. One called test variable time. And that's what we worked on. Go ahead, back to you.
Yeah, so we worked on this. So if we create a new variable, or if in this window, the FRM test generator, we right click and then this menu will pop up, the time, price, and data point. And if you click time, it brings us to this breakpoint. And this just creates a variable for the time.
And that's our code. So to add a new variable, we just call add variable. We instantiate it. So there's the new of our test variable time, because this is for creating a new time point. And then we get the time at the mouse.
Yes.
Right?
And
we also tested generation of code, as I recall.
We did. And it worked pretty well.
Right down here, we called generate initialization on it. And we took that, copied it, and then tried to run it. Surly Dev saying hi.
Surly Dev is in the house.
Hey, it's Surly Dev, my favorite human. Sorry about that. I don't have Campbell's offset working. I haven't looked at that. I always remember to do it right as we start the show. Mine too. Did that one show up?
Yeah, that one showed up.
Mark showed up. Mine showed up in the right place like we did. So that's kind of where we were. Basically, we're going to continue that work. The show's advertised as building the best, world's best. Dad, fix my bubbles. Yeah, I know. You got to put an exclamation mark in there. I know. I'm going to fix it. I just don't know. I don't know where it is. That's my problem. I don't know where that code is.
Oh yeah, the world's best test case generator.
Yeah, world's best test case. World's
It's
greatest.
a little bit of an over-exaggeration.
I don't think so. I think we're good.
Okay, I feel like it might be in the top 10.
Give a sound check. Is your mic close by to your mouth?
Yeah, it's close.
Does Campbell sound low? Turn yours up a bit.
Check.
Check. Yeah, I can. That is low. Good, Campbell. Give me a sound check too.
Check.
That I think is better. How's that?
Good.
How's that? Mark, you're sounding like you're in a little boy's room. Yeah. Because Campbell's mic is picking me up. I've got the wrong mic for Campbell. We had a great one, but it just kept getting rolled over by chairs and got destroyed. So I need to get a different new mic there. So let's say something, Campbell.
Check. Okay. So I feel like that's a little bit of an over-exaggeration. I think it might be maybe in like the top 10 test case generators. But best? World's best?
All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to move my mic in much closer.
And then turn
my volume down. And I'm going to do that. And I bet you there's a chance, as long as that doesn't rub against me right there, we're going to be good. How's that? Better? Okay. Good to know. I'll keep that in mind. All right, so let's continue. So we're going to do this. So this is our test generator. It looks a lot like our main window. Main window, we get to make a selection. Test generator shows the selection.
Yeah.
Okay.
And oh, right. And the variable shows up here in this list. And then we can make
Oh, right.
multiple, and it will list them.
You're at a breakpoint, so you need to either hit continue or clear the breakpoint if you want to do this multiple times. See the over
Doesn't
the far
F5
left?
work?
What?
Doesn't F5 work?
Yeah, it should, but if it doesn't, that means your function lock is down.
Yeah, I tried that. Okay, and then it will list multiple. One thing we're going to work on today is making it so that you can rename these variables from
Right,
this window.
I think we'll get there. I hope we'll get there.
And you were saying you wanted to rework the selection
Yeah.
for this.
Selection's been on my mind. Right now when we get a selection, it just gives us the data points inside the selection, but it doesn't give us that extended piece beyond it, and it just gives us an array of data points. It doesn't give us like a holder or a container for the selection. What I want to do is I want to make this idea.
Well, it kind of does if we create a data range.
Same thing right now. Well, right, we haven't done that right now. Right
No,
now,
we have
nothing
not.
happens
Not
with the
yet.
data range.
But yeah, okay, so we should. All right.
So it's been on my mind for a while. I think it's important to promote our idea of a selection to something more sophisticated. Once we have it more sophisticated, we can put methods in it. Because right now, if I just give you a bunch of data points, a list of data points, there's no methods that you can call on that whole list. But what if we were curious about the data collection? What if we wanted to know its highest point and its lowest point, right? Maybe what if we wanted to ask about it? Also, the other thing I don't like about what we're doing right now is if I select like from the middle of here all the way to here, the edge of my selection, like right in here, that edge, here, I'll illustrate it here. I think it'll be a little easier to see right here. So right here, I've got the edge line right between 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
I think that edge line is important.
Yeah. So you want it to be when we select that, we store the data point after that, or where it is?
I think what I want is I want to know the end time. There's no data point there, but I want to know what that end time is. I want to know the start time as well, even if it doesn't fall on a data point. But here, I do want to know the value before it. So with the selection, I'll hold the previous value, so we know what the value is coming in, or the value. Let's call it the value coming in.
Yeah.
The price coming in. Yeah. And here we don't care about the one outside, but we do care about what time it stops at. So let's talk about that a little bit. We'll just kind of spec it out real quickly, and I'll tell you what we need to do here. So we're going to create a new a tick range class. It's going to know the start time, the stop time, or end time maybe is a better word. Maybe just call it start and end. If I can spell it. There we go. It'll be a time. The start will be a time. It'll have will it have previous point? I think it might have the previous point or this initial point. Something like that. I'm thinking. I'm not sure what to call it, but it's the value before we get in. Like literally, it's something like this. It's the value before the range starts, and that value is our stock tick, right? It's a stock tick. Or whatever we're calling it, custom tick.
Okay.
It has all the data points. The data points that we're currently returning when we ask for a range. So what I want to do is when I ask for a range, I want to return this thing instead. And it's going to have that really make it fun to work with. Something like that. So methods like,
Okay.
what's the what's the average value? What's the highest, like things like average, ceiling, floor, whatever you want to call it. What's the highest? What's the lowest? Lowest, average slope. Things like that. Also have methods to get a sub selection, a sub range. Inside, which will just return another tick range. I don't know. Are you okay with me calling it tick range? Is there something better? Data point range. Stock price range.
That's good. Oh,
Price range.
yeah, maybe price range, because tick range is.
But not only does price vary, so tick represents a time and a price. Price does not represent time. I could call it price range, but we'd have to
Yeah, that's
augment.
true. Okay, then tick range is fine.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so let's build this right now. Let's go look at the code, see how this is going to impact and change the code. This is Canvas Machine. Go ahead and shut it down. Looks like it's still running. I think you
Wait.
just closed the test case generator.
I think my mouse might be on your screen. Yeah, wait. It is. Oh, wait. Okay.
Should have F5 now. I want to see if F5 runs for you.
Nope.
Hit the function lock.
Yeah, it's still not working even if I press function lock.
Just tap it once. You just tap function lock once and then try
Yeah.
F5 again.
Yeah, I know. And it's not working.
Huh. I'll have to look at that after the show. Okay. So we need some code that deals with a selection gets a selection. I think. Well, I don't know. Let's start looking here. This is our main app. Because it's our main app, I think I want to rename it to stock analysis main. I want to be able to tell that it's the main app by looking with it closed.
Yeah. All right.
Because otherwise I'd open it up and see, oh, main window.
Oh, okay. So that you don't have to, you just glance at it and you know. Oh, okay.
Kind of, yeah. That's what I'm really. By the way, Kimball, I'm doing this all the time. I'm reflecting on how hard is it to do what I just did. What can we do to make it easier? Right? What's the faster, shorter way to make it easier?
Yeah.
Tick graph core. That's where we have our tick graph custom control. We also have something called selection. This is like a UI selection, I think.
Oh.
This is like UI selection. It's not the same thing as what I'm calling, what I'm kind of, thinking about when we talk about the tick range. Selected tick range? Do I want to do that? Maybe not. Let's look at Bot Trader Core. This looks, I think, key. Got this thing out there called a chart translator.
Oh, yeah.
This is with the code that basically, I think it takes some stock, it takes a list of stock data points. And so not only does it do chart translation, but it also calls add stock position when update last price is called. And that's happening inside a subscription piece right here. So that's in main window. We subscribe to the ticker. We call update last price. Then we go to our chart translator and we call add stock position.
What does add stock position do?
Add stock position takes our custom tick data and just adds it to the chart. Adds it to the data we collect. So here's the data we're charting, stock data points, right there.
Yeah.
The list of stock data points. So it just adds it to it. and then we update the chart. We calculate the size and the bounds so that it's whatever we see is always in view. So if it goes really, really low, we still see the low point and everything squeezes.
Right.
Okay, so I'm just tapping the next reference on stock data points. Let's see where it's used. So it's used as a field variable. It's also, there's a reference here. I might be tapping the next reference on this guy in a second. I just want to go through one more time. Calculate bounds. That calculates the bounds of what's the high and low value. So we just see this for each. We go through each one in there. We check to see, hey, is that last traded price lower than the low? That's what that means, right? Less than. Well, if it is, we set low equal to that new low value we just found. And we just keep doing that for every stock data point we find. Do the same again.
And then with high.
What?
And then we do the same with high as well.
Yep. Okay. Let's calculate bounds. Add stock position. Remove matching data points. We took coverage of that. Okay, and that's it. We've gone full circle. Now let's go to this one. Get nearest point in time. Get points in range. That's the one. See where else we see it, use it. Get stock data points. This gets all of them. There's no parameters inside here.
We also use it in
These are just
stock
commented
data
out.
points dot add range.
What'd you say?
We also use it down here.
Hold on one second. Before I get down there, I want to rename this to get all stock data points. Whoops. Okay. Continuing. Set stock data points. Okay, that's if we added.
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
So get points in range. That's the one we want to do. All right, so we're going to do this one. This is what we want to change. We want to see who's using this. Got this selected points variable over there.
Oh.
Are you hitting tab?
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine. What's
Okay.
test selection? Just gets the selection, okay.
And then this.
What's this one?
It's used in get
Get
points,
points around
time.
Oh yeah, where we say here's a center point and we give it a span.
Yeah.
And it'll grab that and everything before and after. Okay, so this is what we want to change, and we want this thing to now return instead. I think we're calling it a tick range. Okay, so we're going to copy that to clipboard. Can you create a new class for me up here? Call it tick range.
Yeah.
It's on the clipboard, so you just paste it. Okay, good.
Oh wait, would the C backslash work as well? Or
Try
no?
it. Yeah, hit undo. No. Actually, it won't. I'm sorry, it won't, because the backslash determines what it descends from. So you would create something that descends from this. So just to show you, it looked like this.
Okay.
See? So it's useful if you want to create a quick descendant. You just copy the ancestor class clipboard and then type in C/.
Yeah.
Okay, there's tick range. Move type to its own file. Go ahead and move it into its own file. We need to create an auto-implemented property inside this thing down on line 8. So auto-implemented property of type date time. Remember
what
the
is it?
shortcut for date time?
Oh yeah. D8, right?
Yeah. But you have to, if it's an auto-implemented property though. So you want to start with letter A just like you had it. There you go. AD8. It's going to be called start. Okay?
Ah.
Duplicate that line and call the duplicate variable end. Duplicate that line above on line 8.
Oh.
Smart duplicate line. And call
And
this
then
end.
end.
Got start and end. Just looking back on my screen here, start and end.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do, we need to have value before range starts. I'm going to copy that on the clipboard so you don't type all that in. Copy to the clipboard, switching back
Shift enter.
over to your machine. Yeah, you can do that. The value is not going to be a date time though.
Oh.
It's going to be, what do we call it? A stock data point.
A stock tick. I think we. Oh no.
I'm seeing this.
Was
It's-
it custom tick?
It's got the custom tick and the custom time in it. Yeah, it's a stock data point.
Okay.
because it's going to have the time and the tick is what it is. Although we could also make it, we could just make it custom tick. Because we don't really care about the time in this particular one,
No.
the value before the range starts, we may not actually care about what time that happens because it's before.
But we will with the others, so I think, no, yeah. Custom tick. Do you have it on the clipboard?
Yeah, I did. So we'll do this. Then we need to have a range of points. So we want to do a AL auto-implemented list. So AL, and then
And
a
this
dot
list is-
because it's of. We not yet.
Oh, sorry.
Undo.
This list is for what?
AL dot. This is a list of those points. What's on the clipboard? Now put the // key, and now hit space. And this is going to be the list of all your stock data points. Okay, and
Stock
let's
data.
call it data points, maybe. Or I don't know if we want to go as short as data, but maybe just data points.
Okay.
Instead of stock data points. Okay, what else do I have on my list here? Well, that's it. It's just these pieces here.
Right.
We've got those. Adding methods later, but we don't have them yet. Okay, so we want to create a new tick range. That's what we want to do. Back to your machine. So now we've got that defined. Now what we want to do is we want to create a new instance of it. By the way, if I have something on the clipboard like that, there's a CodeRush template called NINST, and then you want a comma at the end. It's kind of long, I know. But if you do it, it'll give you that.
Okay.
New instance, and if I did NINST without the comma, it would give me all of this. You could do either one, right?
Yeah.
But the comma is shorter. It's looking for a variable called tick range. I'm going to make this lowercase and do that. I suppose we do this. And we're going to say start is equal to start, end is equal to end.
End.
Now,
And then,
the tricky thing we don't have is a method that gets the value before the range starts. So what we need here is we want to say something to the effect of value before or on, and pass in the start time. So I'm going to go get the value before this time, or if it's exactly, if there happens to be a stock point exactly at that time, we're good. We'll use that one. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Data points, we're going to just create a new list of it. Right like that. That's all we're going to do.
right.
Okay. Then, we're doing a lock. We're going through all the stock data points. Oh, look who's here.
Last man.
Lassonat is here.
Welcome.
Get your cups out, folks. Welcome, Lassonat. We are working on a test case generator. It's going to be
Yeah.
awesome.
Hopefully the world's best.
It's going to be the world's best test case generator. It absolutely will. People are going to go nuts on it. That's what we're working on. We're right now working on promoting the data that we're working on from just a list of stock data points, stock price or cryptocurrency trading data points, promoting that into being a class that holds that we can call methods on. The class is going to have properties on it as well that we think are going to be useful. So we're just kind of prepping to get the data in kind of an upper, higher level class so that we can work with that more easily. That's kind of what we're doing. So we need this value before or on. Maybe I'll change that on or before because I think that's on or before. I think that's normally how I've heard that said. All right, so now we're going down in here, and this points in range here we're going to return instead the tick range, like that. And down here we're going to return the tick range. And where's points in? Oh, points in range. This, see this? We're
Yeah.
gonna kill that. We don't need that anymore because the points in range are now this. See the similarity? We're creating a new list of stock data point there, and we're creating a new list of stock data point here. Instead of holding this locally and returning the local, we're creating this guy locally, and we're going to return this guy. The thing is once we remove this, we're going to have to change this line of code. Something goes here. And the question is, what goes there? Here. let me
Oh,
comment
stock
this
data
out.
point. But with a capital S.
What goes? Tell me, what do you think goes here?
Oh, yeah. Data points, right?
Data points, but data points isn't showing up. Why isn't data points showing up in IntelliSense? Why doesn't it see it here?
Well. Because we're. Wait.
If you're right, but it's not showing up, that means you need to qualify it. To qualify it, you need to put something else in front of data points. What goes in front of data points to
We're
qualify?
in the right method, right?
Yep, you're in the right
sorry,
method.
class.
And this is the piece
We're in the
you
right
want.
class.
You want to access this, you're absolutely correct. But how do you get to that? Something goes in front of it.
Tick range.
There you go.
But lowercase.
Tick
right?
range, and then data points. Now look how everything goes away.
Yeah.
Okay? So now we're in really good shape here. We just need this value on or before. It's a little tricky to do this.
Yeah.
It's a little tricky to do it fast is the key. So on or before is called outside of the lock. We haven't hit the lock yet. The lock is here. So it makes a lot of sense to lock right up in this space as well.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I found a faster way. I just thought of a faster way we can do it. Since we're iterating through all the data points anyway, we won't set it here. But what we'll do, we'll try to set it in here. And we're going to do this. We're going to say, we're going to add block delimiters here. Here's what's going on. In the for each, is the time greater than the end time? Then get out. So it makes sense. We're iterating from beginning of the ticks to the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so you understand that, right? Well, if that's not true, we check to say, hey, is the stock data point time after the requested start time? Well, if it is, then we're going to add it. Okay?
Uh-huh.
That means down here, if I put a block down here, what does that mean? Where are we?
So, wait.
Stock data point time comes
That means that
blank,
it's
blank, blank relative to our requested start time.
it's before the end and it's
It is before the end,
and
for
it's
sure.
before this. Wait. So it's before the end and it's not after the start.
Can't be, because after the start goes here, right?
Yeah,
See?
right. So is it before the start?
Yeah. So that means it's before the start. We haven't hit anything yet. All I'm going to do down here is I'm going to say, hey, last data point, I'm just going to record it, is equal to stock data point. See it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go declare that somewhere. Whoops, not there. That's not what I wanted to do. Declare local. I'm not going to initialize it. Sorry, I know that's low. Bring it up here. I'll set it to nil, actually. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm storing the last one we encounter. So I can put this right here, this comment. So imagine it, right? I've got a list of data points out. I've requested a start time, and I'm checking each one. Do you start after or on that? No. Do you start after or on that? No. Right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden I get to the start. By the way, for each one of those, what am I doing? For each one of those that comes before the start, what am I doing?
You're setting last data point to a data.
Perfect.
Start data.
I'm setting last data point. So when I'm here, what's
Yeah.
the property we're trying to
That's
find.
when you add the stock data point to tick range.
Yeah, so all I need to do is come in here and say, hey, look, if tick range dot data points dot count is equal to 0, that means we haven't done anything with it yet. We're coming in for the very first time. Or I could do this. I could say, hey, if last data point is not null, same thing, right? Because it's initialized to null here. But if it's not null, that means we've hit at least 1 at the beginning.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to say tick range dot value before range starts is equal to what? The value before the range starts. So we just entered the start.
Oh, okay. Well, it's stock data point, right? Because we're setting it.
It's not stock data point. No, that's the one. Stock data point is the one that's greater than or equal to start. It's not stock data point.
Then it's. Oh yeah, it's last data point.
There you go.
The one we just.
It's the
created.
last data point. And I think we're going to go in and just get the tick. Because we don't need to get the time on it.
Mm-hmm.
The time is kind of irrelevant, I think.
Yeah. Hopefully. Because we.
If we're proven wrong, that'll suck a little bit. It's almost worth it to just be safe and change this type to be the same type as last data point so we do know the time in case, just in case. In fact, I think I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
Value before range starts is going to become stock data point. We're going back with that. Yeah, I often find that if I think, oh, is this going to be more efficient data-wise, that, and I make a move in that direction, that if I'm wrong, it's a lot more work to undo that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I'm thinking about data, I opt towards, or I lean towards getting all the data I need that I think I'm likely to need, as opposed to being incredibly efficient with it. Unless I have to worry about things like storage or memory use. So, okay, so we've now just set that. So now we've got value before range starts, which is sweet. One of the possibilities is there's no data points at the beginning, in which case value before range starts could be null.
Yeah.
The value before the selected range. The start of this, the selected range could be null.
Could be null. But
I don't think there's a but on that. I don't mean to shut you down, but it just could be null. Did you have a but on that? I'm sorry.
no. I was just gonna say, but that would not be desired.
Well, it's possible though. It could be. It depends on how we're asking for it. So now this should be good. Now the problem is everybody who's using it was expecting to get back this. See it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to go tap the next reference on everyone that's using it, and we want to go upgrade them so that they're returning a tick range. Okay? So I'm just going to hit tab, and now this becomes a tick range. And now this fails, because see, they're connected. It's the wrong type. But I could fix it real quickly just by passing in data points. These data points is of the type it's looking for. See, it's looking for a list of stock data points. That's the same type that data points is. It's a list of stock data points. We did that on purpose so that this would be easier, right? We did this on purpose so that instead of just returning this, we're returning this plus this plus this plus any methods we add down here, like, you know, get highest, get high, get low. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Let's also, you know what? I'm liking this so much. I'm going back into tick range. A second. We're doing this and this. Let's give me 2 decimal properties in here, high and low. We're going to set these as well. So decimal, do you remember? It's DE, but it's an auto-implemented property, so you have to start with that letter A. So ADE.
And then what?
High and low. It's just occurring to me, we are iterating through all of the data points as we're building this, right? Because we're iterating through them all,
Oh, yeah.
we could check in the iteration and set these values, and there would just be something that would be always there. What's the high value and the low value? These are prices. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Hold on. Should they be stock data points?
No. No.
Tell me about that.
I don't think so.
Well, we have to decide how we're going to use them,
Because
right?
the stock data point is also, it has the, it's also a time. But this isn't a time.
I know.
It's just,
And it also has,
price.
stock data point also has the bid and the ask rate in it as
yeah.
well.
And we don't need that for high and low.
Right, we wouldn't be using that for high and low. So high and low would be the price, but the problem is if I've got high and low but I don't know where it is, that's the value of turning it into a stock data point. Is that if I make it a stock data point like that,
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I can now ask
You
more questions about it.
And then and then you can use that for
Test cases or whatever I want to do, analysis, something like that. Okay, so back over to chart translator. We say get point in range. We want to track that. And so what we need is 2 more stock data points. We want one for lowest so far and another one called highest so far. Okay?
yeah.
And then what we want to do is we want to say, well, okay, look, here's where if we're in range, we're doing something. We're adding the point. So what I want to do is ask a question. I want to say, hey, look, if lowest so far is equal to null, well, if that's the case, that means we haven't set any values yet. So what should I set lowest so far equal to? What goes there?
Just low, right?
There's nothing called low here.
Didn't we just make it?
Well,
Yeah.
there is something called low. What is low? I don't know what it is, though.
Oh. Try tapping?
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Okay.
I'm not sure why it was suggested. So something goes here. So lowest so far. And if we're ever in a for loop and I'm asking you what goes someplace, you might want to bring your eyes right up to that variable name there. Because if we're going through and asking questions about something, that's a very important variable in this space. See, we just added it here, right?
Yeah.
We added it there. We checked to see if its time was after the start, and it is. We know it's not after the end because we made it past that.
Yeah.
So stock data point is in range, and if lowest so far is null, then what's the lowest one so far?
Wait, sorry, can you say that again?
If lowest so far is null, meaning we haven't set it yet, what's the lowest one so far up to this point? If we've only looked at one stock data point, because we just got in
Oh, it's
here.
that one stock data point. So it's stock data point.
It is. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Okay, select that. Now I want you to duplicate that line right there. Duplicate that selection. And what do you think about this code?
Oh. It's also stock data point.
It's good.
Because it's both the lowest and the highest if it's the only one.
Right. Before we duplicate that, I'm gonna delete what we just duplicated because there's more to this I want to build. I want to do an else here.
It's like if you've only ever had if you've only ever been in one class and that class has let's say 20 people, then the both highest number of people you've been in class with and
Right.
lowest will be 20.
Right. Another way of thinking about this is that I'm going to give you a box, and I want you to tell me if that's the smallest box you've ever seen. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you can also tell me if it's the largest box you've ever seen. Well, to do that, you're going to need to do comparison. So you're going to need to save the smallest and the biggest one as I give you boxes. Right? When we first start, your hands are empty. And so when I hand you the first box, it is both the biggest box and the smallest box you've ever seen. That's what this code was doing. All right, so now we're going to put an else here. Put an else, just hit L for else, and then spacebar.
And
now we want to do, so now at this point, we want to do a check. We want to compare the two different box sizes, right? Now you have actually a box that represents the smallest one you've ever seen. So now you're going to say, hey, if, we're going to say, hey, if the stock data point dot tick dot last trade price, if that is less than lowest so far dot tick dot last trade price, then what goes here?
It's lowest so far is equal to stock data point dot tick dot last trade price.
It's just going to be stock data point, like that. Because
Okay.
if you keep going, it's not going to be the right type. It's not what we want. We're not storing price. We did initially say price, remember? And then I changed it. I wanted to store the whole tick so that if we know what the high and the low is, we can go ask and see what time they are, that sort of thing. So there is how we do it. Now let's select that whole thing. I want you to duplicate this line.
Selection.
Yeah, duplicate the selection. All right, there's one thing you have to change.
Yes, I know. And it's up here.
Oh, look at you, smart kid. You got that. Good job.
Wrong one.
Perfect. It's sweet and beautiful. All right, so now we're storing these as local variables, right? I've got highest so far. See those usages there? And I've got lowest so far, right? See it?
Yeah.
But we're not actually putting them inside this thing yet, right? We've got high and low. So we need to set those in tick range. And we need to do it after the for loop. Does Campbell have programming in school yet? Ask Class of Math.
No. Well, I mean, I'm homeschooled, so this kind of is my programming.
Yeah, welcome to school.
At school.
Welcome to school. All right, so now we're going to come down here and we're going to go to tick range dot something equals something. And then we need another line that's very similar to it as well. What's going to go here, Campbell, to transfer those locals that we've been collecting into tick range? And if you're not sure, you can get rid of that and just type the dot to see what shows up. And look through that.
Okay. Right? Or no, wait.
Nope, because we're working with we're working with what? What is the thing we were just working on that we haven't quite? I said we have these locals that we haven't assigned yet. Do you remember what I was saying just moments ago with highest so far and lowest so far? You have those guys there.
No, I don't. What were?
Sorry, I moved the mouse off of my mouse off your screen. I forget. There you go.
Wait, sorry. What were you saying?
Oh, well, we're tracking lowest so far and high so far, but they're just locals. So what do we do with those? The clue is this code right here at the bottom. Like imagine Campbell's reaction to his first code on paper experience. He just writes a little code and then code our shortcuts. Nice. Not sure? Let me give you a clue. We need to set the low and the high, the properties. Remember you added these properties?
Why?
Over here? Because we
thought they
don't
were
know what
already
they
set.
are. Why?
I thought-
Because we're doing all this work to find out what they are, and we know them right now. So we need to set them. These are locals. They're locals to the method. They're not at all in tick range.
I thought we already. Okay, sorry.
So we
I
need
thought
to
that we were
transfer
done.
them into tick range, and we need
Okay.
to do it outside the for loop when we're done.
Mm-hmm. Nope, I missed it. That was so far.
And then you could probably just duplicate that line if you wanted to.
Yeah, I know, but
Instead of typing it in again. Whatever you want. There it is. There's the connection. Right? So we work with the local variables to get the value we need, and we transfer them over into, you've got it suggested.
yeah, sorry.
There you go. No worries. All right, good. So now we've got the low and the high. All right, let's go back to the work we were doing, where we were doing tab to next reference on Oops. Tap next reference on get points and range. So we're now got selected points. I'm going to call this now, I'm going to do a rename here, and we're going to call this tick range. Okay? Get points and range. Here comes these drones. Okay, get points around time. Look at what it's doing. It's returning a list of stock data point. What are we going to change that to? To fix this. Get points and range cannot implicitly convert type tick range to a list of stock data points. So I'm telling you this is wrong. We got to change that. Change it to what? Clues in this error message right here, or in this error, in this warning. Cannot implicitly convert type bottradercore.tick range to generic list of stock data point. It can't get it to here. This is the wrong return type. Okay, if you don't know, let me give you a shortcut. Type in TV right up here.
Here?
Yep.
This is just
space. CodeRush will change it to a void. That's the template. Go down to the return keyword that's now highlighted and hit the CodeRush key. And CodeRush will figure it out for you. Convert to function. It's tick range, right? See get points in range, returning tick range right here.
Yeah.
We're returning that here because we changed it. It used to return that. Now it's returning this. Right? It used to return this type. You can get rid of this comment piece right here. Okay, so now let's look at get points in range. Tap the next reference on every one. See if they're all okay now. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Now look, go back. Get points around time. This one we changed. This is going to be broken if it's used. There you go. See it's broken right there?
Yeah.
Okay, what do we need to do? Do you have a sense of what we need to do to repair this? You can say no real quickly.
Oh, yes. Yes. I think so. We need to change this to a tick range. Right?
To a what?
Oh, no. Never mind. I don't
This
know.
is the variable. It's not the variable we need to change. It's the type of the variable. We need to change
that's
this.
what I was saying. I thought, but
What are we changing that to?
but it needs to be a list, right?
Because we're passing it to get average price? It can be whatever
Yeah.
we want. We can call it a Boolean if we want.
Well,
we
I
can
know.
call it a string.
I thought that what I first said was this needs to be a tick range.
Tick range.
That's
Let's
correct.
make it a tick range.
But I thought that it had to be a list. Why? Then why was it a list at first?
Because that
Oh,
was,
because the
we
tick
just had a
range
list
is
of
also
points.
a list.
Yeah, it's like me handing you a bunch of boxes and saying, here's your boxes. And then the change we made to the code was, we're now going to create a robot that holds the boxes. And you can ask questions of the robot, like, what's your highest, biggest box? What's your smallest box? Right?
Yeah.
Give me, and if I need the range, I can access the range. The range is inside one of these. Do you remember which one it is? The list. Remember, which one of these holds the list of data points?
It's data points.
It's data points. That's it. So I could pass that in to get average price, like that. And I think I'm done. Just get points around time is only used there. I think I'm done. Get average price. Currently takes this. We could also upgrade this to take just a tick range.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if we need to do that yet. So at this point, we should be able to run it, and it should be no different. Do you want to try running it? See if it compiles and builds and runs. Okay, not bad.
It appears to be working.
Not bad. All right, let's go back.
Wait. I just want to try some. Test these.
Notice that when we take the selection, we immediately end right at the last data point, and we immediately start at the first data point.
Yeah.
But what if our selection is bigger than that? I'd really like this to hold the whole thing. Show me that whole selection.
Yeah.
Okay?
So that it doesn't just tighten to what it to what makes sense for it, it creates basically a new data point where the selection.
Yeah, it reflects. I'm not sure if it's going to create a new data point
No,
or just
but
give me the space.
essentially that's what it is.
Yeah. So let's do that. Let's go in and let's make that work next.
All right.
I hit close. Why is it taking so long to close?
Just a little bit of time to.
Because this is open. Interesting. Just cancel the whole thing. All right. So that's in tick graph, I think. Tick graph, we give it some points to graph. Oh, we give it a chart translator, I think. There it is. We call set chart translator. Main window, good. Set chart translator. This is in the test generator. So it's got a set chart translator. Set chart translator is there. All right, we get a selection chart translator. We set the stock data points. See this right here? I want to now change this to set tick range. And I want to pass in only tick range. And then from that, I'm going to get my start and my end and give it the data points so that it'll expand out. That's what I'm going to do. So we call it set tick range, passing in only that, declare the method, and it calls set stock data points, and we're going to pass in tick range dot data points to it. Let's look at what happens inside set stock data points. See the end and start and end it gets?
Yeah.
I'll let it get those wrong, and then I'll change them afterwards. Ooh, but it calls calculate bounds. All right, I'm just going to do this. That's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to, instead of calling that, I'm going to do this. So we call add range, adding the stock data points in. Tick range is data points. Let's go back in. And then it did start and end and calculate bounds. And what I'm going to do is this, but I'm going to change things up a little bit here. Gotta have at least a data point to do something here. The start is going to be coming from the tick range dot something. What? What's going here?
Tick range dot data point. Or no, tick range dot start.
Take it. Go ahead. Implement it. You just type in S right there, and it'll jump down there and pull it out for you. Okay. End has got to be something similar to that.
It's the same thing. It's
You
just
duplicate
with
the line
end.
there. Yeah. Change it to end.
Oops. Enter. Enter. Enter.
Hold on. There's a coders option here I want to set you up with. Got some flowers in here.
Lots of them.
No. That one. With matching text across different kinds of elements. That's the one I want. With partial matches.
What does this do?
I'm going to say yes to all of those.
What?
And what it does is when you duplicate this now, see how ends are both linked up? Now when you type in end or whatever, they're both changing on both sides. Okay? All right. So we don't need that. We're going to call calculate bounds. And then we're going to get rid of this line. And now that's our set tick range. And now the test for this is to select something wider than the points and try to do a test, bring up the test generator, and see if it holds that additional width. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So select from here to like there. And then choose test selection. And it didn't work. Let's see, did we miss a call somewhere? Set tick range. Does calculate bounds change start and ends? It does. It does. See that right there?
Yeah.
Calculate bounds does change those. So we kind of need to do this. Calculate it first and then overwrite them. Okay, we can set a breakpoint here. Looks like we're still running. Let's do it again. I'm going to grab from before this, like right in between those 2 points. I tried to. Let's do it this way. All right, so now I've got extra here and extra here. Test selection, and now we just run it because we made the change. Yeah, see it's working now. See we've got the extra? Okay, good. That's what we wanted. Okay, that's good. We have a variable. What I want to do, so we are on our list, by the way, of things that we have to do. So this is good. We just did that. That's awesome. Done. Put the checkbox here, like that. Indicate that we did that. Sweet. Have not done this yet, but this is like a to-do. Okay, all of these are done. All right. We have these descendants. We started with this one. Remember we created that last week?
Yeah.
Test variable time. We do not have a connection yet to the user interface. Nothing is really happening on the user interface yet except for it's being added in the list. Does that make sense? It's being added in that list on the right. It's showing up over here. But it's not even giving the right name yet.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So, also, we're not doing any visuals.
Right.
I would love to get a visual on here.
That would be nice.
Before we create the others, I would love to get a visual. This is a time. So a time is going to be something look like this.
Yeah. Like our dashed line. Right?
Yes. It looks just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy right here, and I'm going to copy that to the clipboard. And I've actually kind of did this already over here, but I'll just go ahead and we'll delete this one here. Oops. And we'll just paste it in again. And so there's what we have. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the UI I want to use. I'm going to take this. Let's do, let's delete that whole thing. Actually, before we delete it, I want to report a code rush issue that I'm noticing over here on my machine. All right, devs, I'm hitting num plus, and num plus isn't working in XAML for me. So I'm hitting the num plus key, and nothing is happening here. Control W, not working. Nothing. Selection increase is not working. Also notice there are no code rush lines in here. Right, code rush appears to be loaded. Bring up the options dialog, it comes up. So selection increase and the lines aren't working in here. Let me just save this. Let's close it. Double click and open it again. Yeah. No horizontal, no lines at all.
Is anything else from CodeRush working?
Yeah, you see the lines here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's working. It's working over here. All right, so let me just push that issue out there. Selection increase failing in XAML. Let me put that out into the chat. Okay. All right, back over here. So I want to, let's make this, let's set this width to 24. Oh yeah, I don't even get coverage templates in here. That, and so that's kind of about the size that we're expecting that to be, maybe. Maybe let's make it about 36. We'll make it a little bigger to start with. Okay?
Yeah.
Cool? Cool. All right, now we're going to take this. I'm cutting that to the clipboard. We're coming over to your app, your application now. We're going to go to the tick graph. Show designer. I see view code, but no view designer. What's up with that? Interesting. Oh, because we're running? Is that why? Let me kill it and we'll double click on it. All right. So what I want to do up here is I want to create a new section up here called, I think it's called resources. Why am I not getting resource dictionary? Is that right? Let's try this. User control, got resources. That's what I want. Okay, so I've got the section of user control resources. I'm going to add the view box to it. I'm going to give it a key. So we're going to call this will be how we can refer to it. We'll call this this is a time point. It's an arrow pointing down. Okay? And we're going to say that it is not shared. Okay? If it's not shared, that means every time we use it or reference it, we'll create a copy of it. Essentially what's going to happen there. Okay?
Yeah. All right.
And let's see. Next, what we want to do is when we want to create it, next we want to figure out when we're going to create it and how we're going to put it on. So right now we don't see it anywhere inside of here. I feel like I have an ability to do inside of this code here. I feel like I have the ability to call find resource. Is that true? Yeah, search for resources with a specified key. So what I can do is I can come in here and I can give it that key that we've added over. It's not there. This key, time point. Maybe let's call it icon time point. Okay? I can give it that key. So right now, so this is in the tick graph. If we don't do anything, we just run it, nothing will change. We're not going to see a green arrow. Right? No green arrow inside. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what we can do is we can say, hey, find resource, get it. Let's declare local. Maybe before we do that, we can say as a view box, because that's what it's in. It's in a view box. If we look at that, see it's a view box right there?
Yeah.
That means it's a stretchable, sizable kind of thing. So now we come in, declare local on it. We'll get we'll call it icon time point, like this. And then we're going to say, hey, let's do this. Let's actually set its width to something really big, like 400. Okay? Then let's go to one of our canvases. We have a bunch of them. All of these are modified. Let's create a brand new one. We're going to call this, I want to use adornments, but we're already doing adornments on here. Hold on. Let's go to this guy. And let's go see if we have this guy showing up anywhere in this code. There it is, right there. Let's do a rename on this guy. And we're going to call this core adornments. Okay? Like that.
Yeah.
let's create another one and call this test case adornments. All right?
Yeah.
Cool?
Okay.
Going back over to core adornments, see the set size call? We need to add one as well for our test case adornments. Yeah. And let's tab text reference, see if there's anything important we're missing here. Well, there's add adornment. We're going to rename this to add core adornment. Okay? And then we'll duplicate this, and we've got add test case adornments. Okay? Cool?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see where else this is used. Anywhere else? This is just adding the line. That's the dash line. No big deal there. Clear adornments. Let's rename this. What do you think I want to rename this to?
Clear core adornments.
That's exactly what I want to call it. Clear core adornments. Then, might as well double duplicate the line.
Clear test.
The selection, I mean.
Yeah.
Right? Right, keep going. Handle mouse move. I don't think we're going to need to do it with mouse move. And then set size, and we've gone a full loop. Okay, so now we have this cool add test case adornments. I'm going to hit escape to jump back to where we were, right here. And I'm going to say, hey, add test case adornment. I'm going to call icon time point, like that. And what we should see is we should see a giant green arrow appear. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Perfect.
Okay, that's good.
That's exactly what we wanted.
Now, before we go any further, let's play with this just a little bit. Canvas, do you remember how to, do you remember how to set the left? That's what I was going to say, of an object on there. So why don't you do this? Set that icon times piece so its left is over like by 300.
Oh, right. And then
You do a semicolon from inside that paren, and CodeRush will move it to the outside. Okay, why don't you set its top to like 100? Good job. Duplicating the line. Don't forget Alt, Shift, and the left and right arrows will help you out there. All right. Change the size of it if you want to. Whatever it is, no, you don't need to do anything there. Look at, just undo it. The size is determined by line 56. 7 times 8 is 56. Just by setting the width, it scales itself appropriately.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So just say that, make it half as big.
Oh, wait.
Make width half as big, which is going to make it 1/4 of its overall size. Give it a try. Now run it. Does it move to the left? Does it move down?
Hopefully, yeah.
Cool. Now, nice, right? Very quick and easy, right? To get that in there. Now that we've done this, let's extract this into a method. Call it add time point. Cool?
Yeah.
And let's make this a parameter. See that promote parameter? Select that. Call it width, lowercase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do the same with left and top. So I want you to select the 300 and just double click it. Fastest way to select the problem if you have your hands on the mouse. Select that.
What's it? Oh yeah, insert.
And promote to parameter. And watch what's happening up there in line 55. And give this a good name.
Oh.
Good. Do the same thing with 100. Okay.
And then up here, it already has all of the parameters.
Right. I want you to do reorder parameters, so left and top are first and width is second. Or width is third, I mean. On line 58. Probably easier to do it on line 58. Well, you can do it there too. Here you don't really have the names, so it's better just hit escape because it's going to be really confusing which one's which. Hit escape, but go down on line 58 and do it, since you do have the names there. You can start it there or on the units. Put the caret on the word. Oh, there you go. You got it. Okay.
So width you want third?
Yeah, left, top, and width. Yeah, just like that. And then hit enter on that. And it'll change the numbers on line 55 when you hit enter. Okay? All right, so now we've got add time point. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a left and a top position and a width.
And a width.
Now,
Which is its overall size, actually.
say that again?
Which is kind of its overall size.
Yeah, you could change that. You could rename it to size if you wanted to.
Rename size. Okay.
Okay, now that we've got add time point here, check it out. Come down in here and let's put one at like 400, 200, and make it 300. And let's do one more at fine, like that. And so now when we run it, we should see 3 arrows.
Yeah.
Okay?
Each one bigger and more left and
Right.
down the
So
knobs.
add time point is now essentially working. However, add time point is not pointing at this X position here.
It's the
It's
center.
left. We need to center it on it is what we need to do. So what I would do is this. I would come in here and on left, I would say left minus something divided by 2. What do you think I would put here to get it to center?
Half of left. Left, sorry. Right? Yeah, left.
You want left right here. So if left is at 1,000, it would then go to 500 instead of 1,000. And if left was 10, it would go to 5. I don't want to move it over half of left. I want to move it over half of how big it is.
Oh,
Because
right.
that'll get the center. Right?
Yeah,
So
okay,
think
so
about that. What goes
size.
here? Size, exactly. Right, good job. Okay, so that's going to do that. So left minus size divided by 2. Now I think we're better. The top position, what's interesting about time point is you could argue all time points would be maybe positioned across the top. There's no vertical component to them that's necessary.
Yeah.
And all price points could be across the left. So if that's the case, we don't really need a top anymore. You can just set top to 0 or just comment it out because top will default to 0. In which case, we can remove this as an unused parameter right here. So go ahead and select that, enter there. Removed unused parameter top. Good. Now adding time point is a little simpler. Now, run it now, and we should see 3 different time points added, but they should be all across the top. At 300, 400, and 500.
Size should change, yeah.
Okay?
Oh.
Good. Now, if we screenshot
Not
this...
really. Look, they're not all fully aligned.
I'm going to contend that they are.
Do you think the size is changing?
Yeah, what's happening is this has got a little bit of space in it. So when we scale it, that little bit of space gets bigger here and gets even bigger here.
Okay.
But we're not going to actually scale these, to be honest. The size will actually always be the same. So 200 is too big. Maybe 50 is good. Like that. Let's just stop it a second and run it again. Now you won't be able to tell because they're all the same size. All right, that's a good size, I think, right? You can see it.
Yeah.
That'll mark the time point. Okay?
And now we need to create the line underneath it.
Yes. Since size is 50, we can just make it a constant now inside of here. So to make a constant, you're going to type in Q and then D for double, or QI for int, something like that. QD, that's constant.
QD for decimal.
And then you're going to paste in size because I got it on the clipboard. And then hit enter, and then you're going to make it a 50.
50.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you don't need a D at the end of it.
Only
Doubles,
if it's, yeah.
everything's assumed double unless you specify otherwise. And then we can get rid of all of that. So now we've just got time points coming here asking what the left position is. But wouldn't it be really, really much better to be able to specify an actual time for this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
we'll do that later. I'm going to rename this to right now to just say at X. Okay? And so now let's run it again. And so now we've just made this really quick, brief change here. But it should be exactly the same as before.
Yes.
Move that around. You should
It is.
see 3 time points coming in. All right? Good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We could do this. Watch what happens with that. It should draw outside of the canvas. Well, it gets it partially outside the canvas. It's not bad. We can move them up and they'll still be painted. The top of the canvas is right where is right where these dots are. We can draw outside of the canvas.
Yeah.
We can draw
Okay.
even way up here behind this stuff if we wanted to. Okay. All right, so now we want to get these in the correct spots. So I'm not going to call add time point here anymore. All right?
Then where are you going to call it?
Well, I'm going to do it when we go draw graph. When we go into clear, I think we're going to clear. Do we clear everything when we do draw a graph? Do we clear the other adornments? CVS main children clear. Okay. Update selection, draw analysis charts. I'm going to say draw test case variables. That's what we're going to create. All right, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go say clear test case adornments. Okay, so we're going to clear them. Then we're going to go look through all our variables. I think we've got something called variables in here, don't we? We do not.
We have data points, but not variables.
Variables are stored somewhere else. They're stored here. So here's my draw graph. I've got something in here called variables already. I could pass it my variables, which is a collection of test variables. Let's do this. Let's call toList on this. That'll now turn it into a list of these. Like that. Should be a list of those. And I'm going to call this maybe I don't want to do this. Do you see the red underline underneath test variable?
Yeah.
It means it doesn't know what it is. And maybe it's better for it not to know.
Why? Isn't it? I thought.
Why is it better for it not to know?
Yeah.
Because then it is a more general kind of piece here. What if instead, I'm going to go, it's a little more code, Campbell. We're going to go in a different space here. What if we created a class called custom adornment? And in the custom adornment, we have a string property called key, which is going to use to key into one of those resource icons, like icon time point, okay, for example. So it'll have a text name like icon time point. Okay, what if we give it a top, a left, and a size? Watch your head, Campbell. Go look up. No, he just wants you to look up. So it says I need to work on my drone commands so they don't get timed out for entering commands too quickly. Are you getting timed out, really? I did delete, I did set everything up because they were all paused for a while. But he says, hey Mark and Campbell, how's it going today?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's going okay.
We're working on the world's best test case generator.
That's what we're working on. Couldn't really, we wanted to make the hype match, be awesome. That's what we try to do. So if I had my own custom adornment, and I could pass that in, I give it a key, a top, a left, and a size, that could work. What if also, instead of making top a double, what if I made it a decimal? And instead of making left a double, what if I made it time?
Oh, so that we can enter it as a time and not just as a number.
Kind of what I'm thinking.
But it has to be a date time within the range of
Yeah, or if it's out of range, it'll just be drawn wherever. Pudding says world domination. Campbell says, hey, it's Pudding, my second favorite human. That's what this is mine too. I really got to get the Campbell thought bubbles happening above your head. I'm just playing with this, Campbell. So I'm just thinking, what if we did this? And then we wouldn't pass, we'd have to create a new instance of a class. Okay, got it. We'd have to do that. But the advantage is the tick graph wouldn't have to know anything about our test case generator. It wouldn't care. We could just pass in anything to it, the custom adornments, which means I want to come over to test case adornments. I'm going to call these custom adornments instead. I don't have knowledge of test case in here, I've decided. A little more code. So we're going to, everywhere we see something that has the word test case in it, we're going to rename it to custom. Oops. Get the rename in. No, that would be what I wanted to do. Oh, your mouse is. There we go. Add custom adornment. Custom adornments. Okay, that one's good. Anybody else? Clear custom adornments. Really? I don't know what custom ones look like. And then draw custom adornments. Custom adornments. And there's a big fat to do here. Do this. You need to draw the adornments. We're not doing that yet. So now, what I want to bring down here is a list of custom adornments. So now what's cool about this is now we can call tick graph and just pass it in a list of custom adornments if we've got any. Okay? So we're going to now, we need to fix that. We'll do that in a second. A list of custom adornments. We're going to call this custom adornments. And we're going to set it to null by default. So any calls that don't have any parameters, they're good. They just won't draw any adornments. Here, we now want to add our custom adornments. So now what we're going to do is we're going to build it. In fact, we really only need to build it whenever variables change. So add variable, here's where we need to rebuild it. Rebuild custom or variable adornments, maybe we'll call it that. Variable adornments. You've been quiet for a little bit. How are you doing on this? Let me check in with you.
I'm a little bit confused.
Then stop.
Okay.
I need to give you a button that has a little robot hand that just goes like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, like that.
So right now we're just refactoring, correct? With the, or more or less, with, and we're changing it so that it's not, we don't have any knowledge of the test cases, correct?
Yeah, we don't want to have knowledge of the test case. So we created, the reason why, we kind of have to imagine over here, see this tick graph core? It's this really cool graphing custom control. We can use that in 100 different applications, right? But if all of a sudden that depends on our test case generator DLL, then all those 100 of applications have to also depend on that. It has explicit knowledge of something tiny and small that is very specific to a higher level app that should go over here. So in terms of envisioning where these go, if we can decouple dependencies, if we can break apart dependencies, it gives us a better design, a more flexible design, a more powerful design. And so instead of having it know about something, I'm having it not know about it. And instead, I'm saying, and in the process, making it way more extensible. Because say you wanted to use the tick graph on your own, but you wanted to have pictures from your vacations that correspond to the times when stocks go up or down. And say your sister wants to have like some dance moves on the graph. She wants to put dance moves, you want to put vacation photos, and I want to put, variables for my test case generator. Each of those different applications would require a specific knowledge of each of those small, tiny little pieces. And we'd have to put them all inside the graph. So the graph would know about test case variables. It would know about
vacation
photos. It would know about dance moves, right? And now the graph becomes kind of big and hard to work with because it knows about all these things. We've stuck everything on. It's like a boat with everything just stuck onto the side. It's like a boat with a washing machine duct taped to the side of it. Mm-hmm. Sure, you can wash, your clothes, and the interface is built into the boat. Is what for washing your clothes. You got to go sit down at the steering wheel and start doing that, right? But it makes so much more sense to have this open space in the boat where I can put a washing machine or a dance instructor or a photographer on my vacations in that space, and I bring in the expert and set him there. And the expert just needs know how to interface with my boat. Mm-hmm. Like it needs to know how to sit in that space and respond to button presses, something like that. So that's what we're doing. We're decoupling, we're improving the architecture. That's the move that we're making here. So we got to rebuild our variable adornments. So we need this method to be built. We're going to do that anytime there's a change. Call this anytime we change the variables. Okay?
Yeah.
So now we're in here. Well, we want to go through our variables. For each test variable and variable. I want to create a new custom, I thought it was called a custom adornment. It's public, tick graph core. It's in here. There it is, custom adornment. Okay? Custom adornment's got a couple properties. It's got a key. Well, we want to check to see what kind of test variable we have. We'll just do this. It's equal to get key of the test variable. All right? We'll implement that in a second. It also has a left property. This is its time, right?
Yeah.
Let's rename that. And top, let's rename this to price. Oh no, wait. Yeah, that'll work. That'll totally work. Because we are dealing with stock prices, we know them. Okay, so it's got a price and time. Okay? So the time is equal to, we'll probably have to call get time on it. Okay? And then we're going to have the price. Might as well just do this and change this to price. And then I think there's one more, which is its size. Its size. Okay? We've got custom authorities. Then what we want to do is we want to have a field up here. Called custom adornments, like this. So
Yeah.
it's going to default to null. I'm going to say, hey, look, if variables dot count equals 0, I'm going to return null. Or no, wait, I'm going to say custom adornments is equal to null, and then I'm going to return. So if we don't have any variables, I'm setting this to null.
Okay.
This is what I'm going to pass in to the call to draw a graph. It's a list of custom adornments. So if you tap the extractor and see the draw graph call, it takes this custom adornments in. We're not quite drawing them yet. We're about to. Tick graph. Draw a graph. There. I think that's what we need. Okay? Passing in custom adornments. Cool? This is what's so cool about draw a graph all of a sudden. Now we can add in photographs, we can add dance instructions, dance moves, whatever we want to adorn it with, we can now do it very, very easily just by adding them to custom adornments. And the tick graph doesn't know anything about any of the things that we're passing to it. Does that make sense? It's good design. That's what we're going for. Okay, back to custom adornments here. So now we're going through, we are creating a custom adornment. We need to now add it. See the S right there? That's the list. Call add on that and pass in the custom adornment we've just created. Okay? That will add it. We rebuild whenever we create a new variable. So now we need to now implement this. Get key. What if we did that instead? So every variable we create is going to have these properties and return them. Size. Maybe. What if we did that? So now what I want to do is I want to go into test variable, and I essentially want to declare these inside test variable, like this. But I want to make them virtual, like that. So key is going to be empty by default. Time is not going to be a string, that's going to be a date time. So TD8, can you type in TD8 for me right there?
Yes, this one, oh, Control C.
Type in TD8 and then spacebar. Control Shift right arrow is the fast way to do that.
I was trying, but for some reason it was including the space as well.
That's what was weird. TD8.
And this will just make it a date time.
Good,
Okay.
and now this is going to be, yeah, I'm not sure what this is going to be. Well, yeah, it'll be the TD8 dot, maybe min value. Okay, we'll do that. All right, so there's date time. Now we want one that's going to be of type decimal, so type in TDE and hit enter and call this the price. Come over there. Oops, sorry.
Ah!
That's weird on that. Okay, hold on. This is going to be price, and this is going to be probably TDE again right there, decimal.min value. Then we had a size. This is going to be a double size. And that's going to be 0 for now. Okay, these are all virtual.
Yeah.
Let's go to our descendants. Should have one. There it is. The key is this icon time point. Okay?
Yeah.
So test variable times, its key is icon time point. This needs to be override. This needs to be override. This needs to be override. And this needs to be override. The real Pygons out there says, gotta use them coders type shortcuts. I keep my shortcuts cheat sheet on the desktop. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Let's see, size on this is going to equal, I think we said 50. So that's always going to be 50. This will need to calculate these. We need to do some sort of calculation code here. Let me expand this. And let's turn this into, let's see, how do we get this? We've got a t time value. Well, it's just simply value. Okay. The price, we don't actually need to override because we're going to just go with the ancestor min value. We don't care about the price because the price determines where it is up and down, and this is always going to be up at the top. Let's actually, I'm going to change that. We're going to go to max value. When we see max value, we're going to just put it at the top. When we see min value, we'll put it at the bottom. So we can specify, actually put this at the top. Top of the graph. Okay, so now we've added these pieces in here. Let's turn that back to this so it's a little easier to read. So time returns value. Key is icon time point, right? So all of this here is in the class test variable time. And I think, are we ready to actually test this? Not quite. There's one other thing we have to do. Inside draw graph, custom adornments, we're not using this yet. What we need to do is we need to draw custom adornments. I need to add the parameter passing in custom adornments to it. See my to-do? Now we got to do something with this. So we're going to iterate through all of these, and custom adornment is going to have a property called key. Inside there, I can, don't I have something where I added a, what do I have inside it? It starts with the word add, Campbell. Add custom adornment.
Yeah, that's...
Add time point. So I had this. This code we're not using anymore, so I'm going to delete that. Okay, in here, we're going to not have a constant anymore. We're going to say size is equal to custom adornment dot size. Okay? Find resource. Instead of specifically looking for this, we're going to go to custom adornment dot what? Are you following?
No.
I'm going too
Oh,
fast.
key.
Perfect. That's exactly right. You're getting it. We set the icon width to the size. Good. We set the left. Now the left, we need to actually get the left position. But I think we can go into the chart translator and say get stock position X passing in the time. Okay? So I'm going to say custom adornment dot what?
Oh, right. Okay, so this one's time.
Exactly. That's going to be my X
Because it's
position right
X.
there. And so I'll just create something here called left. It'll be a type T double, like that. And so, wait, let's get stock at X position X return. It returns a double.
Oh.
What's my problem? Oh, it needs a chart width in pixels. And I've got it.
Yeah.
Here, because we're in tick graph, right? Right place to be. Okay, good. So now I've got my left. Good. Then I need to get my top right here. Instead of calling get stock position X, I'm going to call
get position Y.
position Y. And instead of time, it needs a price, I think.
Yes.
It needs a last trade rate or whatever the
Last
price
trade
is.
price.
Yeah, so which of these corresponds to that? That's it. Instead of chart width in pixels.
It's chart height in pixels.
Exactly. Okay, now I've got my top. Top is going to go here. Now, we said that if I pass in a min value or a max value, I'm going to pass back X or Y, I'm going to get to the edges, is what I'm going to do. So we need to write that part right here. So get stock position X, we're going to say, hey, if time equals, if it's min value, then we're going to return 0. Okay?
Yeah.
And if it's max value, then we're going to return what? It's one of the two parameters.
Time. Right? Yeah, time.
So get stock position X wants a double, and you're returning a date time.
Oh, sorry. Then chart with pixels.
That's all right. You got it, don't worry. We're working through all this together. All right, cool. So we've just got the two edges there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, makes sense? Now I want to do the same with get stock position Y, wherever that is, not nearby it. Where is it here? There it is right there. So same thing here. Last trade rate, we should change this just to price. Okay? And then we're going to come here and say, hey, if price is equal to, whoops, no, I wanted TDE for decimal, dot min value. If price is min value, what am I going to return?
If price is min value, then it's 0.
Distance from top? Yeah, looks like it's, is that right? Distance from top in pixels. Okay, that's what we're putting in. So from the top, min value, wait, min value is going to be at the bottom. Because min will be low and max will be high. Because we count from the bottom when we're graphing.
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of returning 0, I want to actually return chart height in pixels. And if it's max value, we can change this if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't work, but I think this is going to be okay. And if it's max value, we're going to return 0. Okay? So now, I think there's a shot of this working. Oh. If it's null, then get out. It's null for the main one, right? So the main one will not ever have any adornments on it. Okay? So get some data, select it, then create a new test time variable. And what we're hoping to see is that arrow.
Yeah.
Just grab some data.
Oh, I was waiting for it to maybe go up or down.
Yeah, just grab it. So we're just testing. Now we want to add some data. So right click, add time.
Great.
You can
Continue.
hit run if you wanted to just see it. Just keep hitting run. Or we can step through it. Oh look, something's happening here. Although, wait, customer dormant says it's null. Okay, cool. We're going to do one other thing here. We're going to say, hey, if that is equal to null, then we're going to create a new instance on it. NIST comma. Like that. New. Like that. Okay. So we're going to just bring the execution up to here, and then hit F10, F10, F10. So what's cool is you can see we're actually adding a new adornment. Hit F10,
Wait,
F10,
here.
F10.
I'm trying. It's just.
Oh wait, F10 may not work for you
Yeah.
because there's the button.
Oh no, function off. I don't know.
Okay,
It wasn't working before.
look at the one it just added. See it? Look at the data.
Yeah.
It's got a price. I don't even see a decimal point on that
Yeah, I
price.
was
Oh, it must be
about to
max
say.
value. It's max value because we want it up at the top.
Yeah.
Size is 50. Okay. All right, let's try it.
That's
Let's run it.
a
See what
lot
happens.
of pixels.
Well, it might be there, just maybe far off the top. And we
Wait.
can't see it.
Can I?
I think it's there. I'm not sure. All I gotta say is, how's our image there? Sorry, just curious if that was native or an extension or the image on the code comment. Never seen it before. Pretty nice. Image, I think in the code. He's talking about. Let's go
Yeah,
to the code.
comment.
Sorry about that, Python.
It's in a comment, and it's a code rush feature.
Yeah, it's a code feature. So we can come in and we can say, okay, let's take this, let's take a screenshot of it, and then let's go, stop the app, put a comment in and paste. And then what
And then
happens
it will
is you get
there.
that. So it's just a code rush feature. You need to turn it on. I'm not sure if it's on or not by default. It's in, is it embedded images? It's rich comments, yeah. Show embedded images in source code. That's what you want to turn on right there. That's it right there. You can just put anything in there. You can right click, you can crop the image, you can scale it. It works just like a regular, just like anything you would, expect in a regular app. That's all that's going on there. Okay? So maybe I wanted to zoom in on my hint right there, for example, to do some work. Sometimes I'll just put an image in temporarily. Just a little bit. Just get out there to the right. I'm having trouble grabbing that one, the right side there. I think I'm going to report this as an issue. Looks like it's enabled by default. Very cool. Yeah, it is cool. Images are stored as part of the project, and you can check them in the source control if you want to. They're in the code.cr extension /images. I mean .cr folder /images. All right, so I'm trying to crop this image. It's a long, wide image. When I go to crop image, the handle I want to grab is off screen. If I move the mouse right down over here, over the scroll bar, and I try and move it, it kicks me out of crop mode. So then if I click here, right click and say crop it again, it does it way out there. The only way I can do it is I think control mouse to zoom out to get it. It's kind of not what I'm expecting at all. So crop image isn't working when the image is wide. Well, that looked like it didn't work either. I went in and I moved this up, and I clicked here. Roll back and watch me carefully. I think is it because I right-clicked it instead of left-clicked it? If I do this and right-click, it's the right-click. I see. So there's that. Maybe okay. Let me say that one's not about that. The left-click outside. Well, that time I left-clicked and it didn't take it. So there seems to be something. Double check that to make sure I'm not going crazy there.
Was that a left click or a right click?
Let's see, does it take this? I'm left clicking. It didn't take that. It's like it's every other one almost. It's like, let's take this one out over here. Left click, that one worked. It's like, do it. It's like this one is going to fail and the next one will succeed. Left click, nope, that worked. I can't tell what's happening on this. Left click, that works. Top image. Left click, that one didn't work. So it's not always working. Cropping image is not always working. That's the bug. Let's report that as an issue. Crop, issues with crop image. Okay, let's put that in the chat. Okay, we're going to delete that. Okay, so we're adding custom adornments. I think we need a couple other things. Well, we need to see this one. We're not seeing it. Let's go figure out why we're not seeing it. Set a breakpoint there. And let's run. Grab me some data. Create a test selection. We don't need much data at all. We don't really need anything. We just need, just need one point.
Okay.
That's null right now. Let's clear the breakpoint. Actually, let's drill into it. I want to set a breakpoint down below. Right in here. I want to get here. And let's see what the values are. Set a variable, new time. Clear that breakpoint. Clear that breakpoint. Wow. I got rebuild variables and we didn't get in there. Rebuild variable adornments. We didn't get to our breakpoint. So we've got two. Let's get out of here. Get out of here. Add variable. Oh. We added the variable we haven't called redraw graph. Right, or draw graph, is that what it is?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to draw graph in here. Tick graph dot draw graph. I think I don't want to call that because we're calling it from here. Well, maybe I'll do that. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. So we'll come down into here. Actually, though, okay, I'm going to extract this and do its own method, call it draw graph. Because I like how it passes in the parameter for me. It does all of this. See that?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to come back up here and just call it there, like that. So we'll come in here. Oh, need a semicolon at the end. See that? I was missing the semicolon. All right, come back up here. Hit F10 for me on that.
Wait, we should zoom in just a bit. Sorry.
Good idea. Thanks. Hit F10 on that draw graph, and that should get you a... Good. Now
Okay.
in here, let's just hit F10 and look at the values of these as we come down.
50. Click here to evaluate values.
Just hit, yeah, you can hit F10. It gets you the view box back. Okay. Just hit F10. We're going to set the width to 50. Go ahead and hit F10. We'll just find out the result at the end. Left is 304. And so we're going to set left to 304. That's good because that's in the middle of our screen. We've already done that. All right, we tried that out. It's a little bit off to the side. Go ahead and hit F10. And find out what top is. Top is 0. Good. We should see this.
No. No, we shouldn't see it, I believe, because if the top is 0 and there's a bit of space above the arrow, then we should not see it at all. Unless that's the center of it. Which it is.
The top and the left is the top and left of the arrow. So if my arrow is this is my arrow pointing down, the top left will be up here. What we're going to need to do is add on to the time variable the ability to adjust it.
Wait,
to move it up and off to the side so it points right at the right spot. See what we're doing here?
But if the top is 0, it's down here, and this is the actual top, correct, of the screen? Like this is the top of the screen, this is the bottom of the screen, and this is where the arrow is?
Yeah, in a canvas it goes from top to bottom, 0's at the top, the bottom is the highest.
Wait, then how, when it was like at its max value?
I think I got those wrong. It's great thing you just realized. I think I got those wrong. I was inverting it. Surely Deb is asking, hey Campbell, are you excited to go to Spain?
Yes, I'm
Let's
very
not focus
excited.
on Dad being wrong. Let's talk about what Surly Deb wants to know about.
We're gonna be so close to a library,
I
which
think that's I think that was German I just spoke there. We'd be so close to the library. You're excited about that?
we're not close. I don't think there's a library like anywhere near us.
And you're kind of you describe yourself as a book reader, right? You like fiction?
Yes, I like books.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's just run it. I'm going to clear the breakpoint here. We're going to hit run. Do we see it? See it? Is it behind that? Is it behind this thing maybe? Now we can't tell. Oh! Do you see that? It was behind it. See?
Yeah.
Okay, and we've got 2 variables there. So let's see if we can add the variable. If we add the variable here, see what I'm doing? See this? Oops, I don't want to data range. See right here? I want to see if it shows up here on the line. Time. And it moved, but I think it was on the line, but see what's going on?
Yeah.
It moved because the mouse moved. So if I do it right here on this guy, and I say new time, yeah, so it's doing this to center it, but it's centering it over where the mouse is moved to when I select it. Does that make sense what's happening? In other words, look at this. If I right click this and select way over here or here, depending on where the mouse is, see what's happening? This moves to where I am. Watch, if I go here, we'll see it right above the mouse. See it right there?
Oh.
And if I go here on the left and I select here, it'll put it right over there. See what's going on? So we need to fix that. That's one of the things we need to fix. The other thing we need to work on is, hey, if we delete these variables, then we need to clear these out. But that won't be hard to do. We'll be able to fix that. There's another thing. There's a couple things we need to do. One is, you see this move right here? This was before answering the question of centering it. I'm going to come back to that. I just dropped a marker because I remember it in Chart Translator. The Y's we got wrong. If it's min value, the smallest value, well, here's the thing. This is the thing. The reason I flip these is this. Look, when we think of stocks, stock prices, the bottom is what? The bottom is what price? The bottom
is
of the graph
0, kind of.
is 0.
But in this...
So when we say the min value, if we're thinking about the stock price of 0, that should be the very bottom of the chart, which should be chart height in pixels. That's why I flipped it. So we've got a couple things going on here. We've got the canvas, whose internal coordinates are 0, going down to its height. We have the stock that starts at 0 and goes up.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what's going on. Anyway, I haven't told him we're moving to Spain. Shush! I didn't realize I said that. Okay, so we're okay over here. Let's jump back over here. See this move? This move right here? This move assumes we want to center.
Yeah.
But guess what? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. Not for every adornment, right? Maybe your sister's adornments of dance moves want to be bottom right aligned, or they want to be top aligned, right? We don't know. Therefore,
We need to make this a variable.
kind of, yeah, exactly.
So that you can easily change it.
I'm going to pass in custom adornment left offset. And I'm going to add it to
Declare
it.
that.
I'll add it to it like this.
And then in this case, it's negative it's negative size divided by 2. Right.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. We already know size. We're eventually, we have to go from here, test variable time, into custom adornment, and then we'll finally use it right here in the left offset. So we're going to do the same thing right there for top. So top is going to grab the top offset. See it?
Yeah.
So we're going to add both of those. So what that means in custom adornment, we're going to need to create both of those. So there's a left offset. And when we create a new class instance and a top offset, when we create a new instance of this, all these fields are going to be by default initialized to 0. So we don't have to do that. We don't have to worry about these. These are going to be, offsets are going to be 0, 0. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, in our test variable time, we're going to do that same kind of trick. We're going to create a virtual one called left offset, and another one called top offset. Okay, see those? And then in our test variable time, we're going to override really just the one, well, we can do both of them actually. Our top offset could be like a negative 20, or maybe even a negative 50, so they show outside. The left offset could be half of size. Like that. And these should both be overrides, not virtuals. Oops. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then now
That
I've
makes
got left offset and top offset here. Now, I'm not using them anywhere yet.
Yeah, you are.
I need to use them and assign them to these right here. Let's go see where we assign top size. See that? This is where we assign the other piece. It is it left offset and top offset, right? Now I've assigned them. Okay, cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And now when we run it, we're still going to have the problem where it goes over the mouse. We'll have to figure that out in a second. But go ahead, get some data, bring up a test selection, give a couple data points in there. Thank you. How do I see the chart?
Wait, it's because the hint is covering it at all times.
Oh,
Because
you're
these two
right.
data points are.
That's really funny. Okay, interesting, because there's no data outside.
Whoop.
Okay.
But why is there this extra space?
Because that was part of your selection. Remember we added that at the beginning of the show. Today's show?
Oh right. Yeah, we should make it so that there's also still a line here.
Okay.
But like a.
I'm down with that, because we know the previous value.
Yeah. But that's maybe a next show thing.
Oh yeah, because we're 12. All right, so we want to right-click and add a variable.
Oops.
Without a selection.
Time.
All right, we don't see it. It's too high.
Yeah.
It's at a breakpoint. The problem is in, pretty sure it's here. I think we set a breakpoint right there. We'll change it. Let's add a new one, time. Let's change this to -10. Run it.
Wait, wouldn't that make it even further up? Or no? No,
No, it's added to it.
Yeah.
There you go. It was just off screen.
And no, I knew that we were adding it there, but I was just wondering, because I was confused for a second about the canvas orientation.
About
All right,
what?
about the canvas orientation.
Yeah, now one of the
that
things we
makes
can do, I don't know if we can do it with, we probably can't do it here, but if we were to come in to our tick graph, this is our grid, and our grid, we should be able to come in, if we were to come in here and say M, like say 30, that would give us a margin all around that grid. And if we were to run it again, will it work now or is it going to hold it or not? Whoops. Let's grab the selection, test it, and look at everything went away. I think it's because of the edit and continue problem that we just did. Let's kill it and restart. The HotXAML reload I think failed because because I was modifying the control
Unit 7, where are you? We need your help.
inside of a DLL.
Oh, yeah, alright.
Here.
Welcome to
Right now.
7.
Huh, the margin didn't seem to work at all for that. Let me try one more time. I'm taking the margin off. Maybe there was a problem with the margin.
Oh, wait, you should switch screens.
One more time. Let's try to get a little bit more in there. Test selection. Yeah. So new time. So if we're here, right click, and I do new time and I keep it really close. Okay, it's off to the right.
By quite a bit.
Let's go take a look at that. That's inside test variable time. There it is right there. This should be a negative. So we'll do it again. Right here, time, this should be negative because our offset's added. So we're going to take half of our size. There you go. Now the last thing that we have to do, we can maybe do this if you want from on in. We just need to record, just the menu pops up. We need to record that line position here. So when I come out here and click, it looked like it did it that time.
What?
Hold on, right click, out here. Oh yeah, there. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's getting a mouse move before it puts it in, and so it's changing it up.
So maybe we, when the right click happens, we record the position.
Yeah, when
of
the
line.
menu comes up, we store it and save it. We can also save that for tomorrow if you want.
Yeah, okay, let's do it tomorrow then.
Okay, we'll do it tomorrow. Let's go get a raid going. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us today. Kimball, great job as usual, keeping me from making any mistakes. This image right here, we don't need to check that one in.
Okay.
Because that's the one I did for a sample. So we just ignore that one. Like that. Cody says, thanks for the stream. Speaks German?
Who?
Sorry, so we got asking you. Sorry, German. Let's see, I'm rating the channel.
Okay.
Alright, send kids over to InstaBlock.
Alright, we'll see you tomorrow at, same time.
Same time as we start here. Camel's gonna check in that code.
Okay, goodbye.
Wait, we moving to Spain? Big pause. Wait, we moving to Spain? Real Polygon says 9. We moving to Spain? Big pause. Yeah, we're moving to Spain.
Soon, actually.
Yeah, you got 2 more shows with us here from Costa Rica, and then our next shows will be from Spain. So 1 tomorrow, and then 1 on Friday. The following Friday. Good one. Oh my God, awesome. Yeah, no, it's cool. I'm looking forward to it. All right, kids.
Okay.
Let's get that raid going. Did I do it? All right. We'll
This
see you.
time, see you tomorrow, for real.
See you same time, like 2 hours.